And what is happening is that y'all are traditional women. Every time you can take advantage of it, meaning being chivalrous, being having a leader, having a provider, having a man that can die for you, that take his jacket out of your back when it's cold, that do all these things. But when it comes to you being a traditional woman, we are not under the patriarchy. I'm a modern woman. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
What I'm saying is this: you still have women who want to live under a man's rule. Go find them. Every woman out here,
all women live under a man's
every woman
rule.
is not modern out here. Every
all
woman,
women live under a man's rule.
All these trad wives out here, y'all can't find one.
I will say this: traditional women are fleeting. Just being honest, most.
What do you think there's this obsession with women becoming traditionalist back in, like going back to having a man over them? And I mean, because we're getting a little bit off of the subject, but I think that this is also is still on the subject, because some of these men that are really pushing this red pill ideology, I believe, are DL men. Could you kind of go into that? Like, well, what do you think this is about?
I think that them trying to push control over women. I mean, again, if you care about somebody, you're gonna boost them, you're gonna support them. I don't think that is really too much to look into. I think it's kind of obvious what they're saying. Like, they're mad that women are doing more. They're mad that some women don't want certain things. I don't think, to me, like I just had a discussion with somebody telling them that if a woman doesn't want to be with the man that's sleeping with other men, I don't get how that could be homophobic. That's like me being upset that a straight man is telling me that he's not gay. Like, you can't force people to do something that they don't want to do. But I think with the traditional thing, men just want control over women. But they were saying that if they had control, women would be doing what they want them to do. But I think women are doing exactly what men want them to do, which is making themselves available and easy and not knowing their self-worth. So I think a lot of women are doing it. That's what he's telling women to do. Like, essentially listen to a man, even if he could be leading you down a dark road.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that it's more so we're in a time where
leading us where?
Yeah.
Where are they leading us to? I'm like, I'm still looking for where they're trying to lead. And then it seems like they're also some of the men are taking credit for, oh, we built the roads, we built this, and it's like, honey, you don't even know how to change your tire. Come on, you built the road. You ain't built no road. Now maybe our ancestors built the road, and the women stood in line and fell in line at that point. But the men nowadays are not. And I'm not a feminist. I wish I could find a man that I could, rely on, and please, if you know him, send it to me. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, it's like a lot of guys are proclaiming all these grandiose things that they're doing, but they're really, it's all in their mind that they're doing these things, right?
Yeah. Of course. I mean, you know that, though. That's what I said. I mean, I think when you kind of know, you just have to go with what you know. Like, I don't think you can really question it.
Yeah. So see, but here's the thing: I know, but it doesn't mean that everybody in the audience knows. So that's what this is for. Is because I want people that probably are going through some of these things. So, what do you think are the primary things that a woman should? Let's go back to the PowerPoint, because I think there was like the next page went into, because you went into the princess treatment. Anytime a woman has to be masculine, being the head of household, or forcing a man to do right, to keep a man, treat him as if he's the prize. Because that's why I brought that video up, right? Because a lot of the times with the red pill ideology, it has these kind of undertones that you're talking about: narcissistic, misogynistic, avoidant. They want to be treated like they're the prize. So how do we know the difference between just red pill ideology and DL?
What do you? I mean, it's synonymous. I mean, I feel like you just related it to the same thing, because when you say red pill, like, I technically don't know what you mean by that.
You never heard of
red pill? Podcasters. I mean, I hear people say red pill all the time, but sometimes they're talking about a white supremacist type podcast. Sometimes they're talking about Ace Metaphor. Sometimes they're talking about Derrick Jackson. So, I mean, I don't think there's really
red pill is specifically like that Kevin Samuels, Jordan Peterson. What's that?
I don't know Jordan. I do know Kevin. I mean, I think that
Daniels, like, where they are all like, the woman needs to be underneath the man, and it's like this is what really heavy misogynistic, everything, like all that stuff. The man is the prize. The woman needs to be underneath the man.
Okay, so why are women listening to this? If that's
1920.
what's being said, then why listen? Like, especially if you don't want to live like that. That's why I'm like, I mean, that's why I'm like, those people, I knew Derek, I saw him, of course, but I don't really watch those type of podcasts. That's why I'm like, when people say red pill, I just assume like it's something extreme, like they have an extreme viewpoint.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. There is an extreme. That's why I was going to play you that clip because it gets very. But here's the thing: the reason why I showed it is because a lot of men are watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at first, it was like a thing that is only on YouTube. Only a small amount of people are watching this. But even when I'm dating now, because I'm still in the dating.
But I mean, this has always been a issue. Like they're just switching how men are consuming media. Like, I mean, men didn't just start being like this. Like women have always been oppressed. That's why you had a feminist movement. But I think a lot of people just, I don't even know. Because I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a podcast, but what's the difference in them hearing it in a music, in a rap song? What's the difference in them seeing it in a movie or seeing it on Facebook scrolling? It's like, you know, what's the difference? That's why I always say, like, yeah, the medium is different, but it's still the same thing technically to me. They just have different people. Like now you have people, regular people can influence the media. There was a time where there weren't really social media influencers. Everybody got their media from the TV, or they got it from print, or they got it from the radio. Media was very controlled. Social media came along and made media a lot more uncontrolled. Like me and you are sitting here having a whole discussion about DL, man. That's not something that would have been able to happen maybe say 30 years ago, 20, maybe even 25, years ago. That wasn't, the internet hasn't even always been around. Social media wasn't always around. So I think that it's just different now. They're gonna always do something.
Interesting. So I want to get back to the PowerPoint because I definitely wanted to like get to some of these things of how to spot, because we've been talking about how to spot. I mean, we're talking about different ideologies. Some of the places you could probably find these kind of men.
Well, the whole PowerPoint is how to spot. So and this is what I always say, like, I think people want there to be a monolith. There is no monolith. Like, in order to understand it, like, it's 6 pieces of the puzzle that I feel like I go over. That's why I said the whole PowerPoint is kind of crucial to understand, because if you just hear me talk about the personality, but you don't hear me talk about other things, it may not add up. And I think some people pick certain pieces of things that I say to like say, oh yeah, he's DL. Like you said, he's narcissistic, so he has to be DL. It's like, no, you need to think about everything as like a whole. It's like a whole equation. You can't just go for one piece.
Right,
like
right.
These are different. Like it's mother trauma now, where we just talked about their personalities. Now we're getting into some of the reason that they have these personalities.
Right, and I just went over like a situation where I just asked a question.
Yeah.
And it was an innocent question, and I really wasn't trying to mother over him or nothing like that. Or it was like something like, "Hey, did you get to do this?" Because I was trying to pick him up, And he's like, "You're reminding me of my mom. Don't ask me too many. Don't ask me no question." And I'm like, "Whoa, this is because I asked you about did you go and do X, Y, Z before I come?" You know what I'm saying? And then when I talk to my therapist, because I do speak to a therapist, she said exactly what you said, that he clearly has a problem with his mother, and somehow he's projected that onto you. I
mean, that's what they typically do. I mean, because now he has another woman to project onto. Because I mean, if you weren't in his life, he would just project it onto his mother. Because until they work through that, it's like they're gonna treat women essentially. Not saying that he was treating his mother bad, but they're gonna treat women how they feel about their mothers, at least. Because it's easier. You're their intimate partner. That's why I always tell people, like, when you're with somebody, you're in a relationship, like, they feel even more comfortable to treat you bad, because other people, especially the DL, man, to the public and to everybody else, they're always going to be perceived as these good people most of the time. So them treating you terribly behind closed doors, people are probably not even going to believe it, because they don't get to see that side, because that person is able to keep it together. But everything that they want to take out on everybody else, they're going to take out on you. or in some cases, if you're not around, they're just going to take it out on their mother.
So Miss Obsidian Reloaded says, I listened to a message a few weeks ago by Priscilla Shirer, daughter of Pastor Tony Evans, and she described narcissistic males as psychologically gay. So let's go in.
See, I feel like that's too like, because most men are narcissistic. That's why I'm like, I don't really think, because if you say that, because I mean, we live in a patriarchal society, so especially from a woman's viewpoint, you're gonna see that most men, unless it's another man, they're, especially because, again, they don't look at women as being equal. So
because even as I look at this, some of the things that are being said, I said, like, it seemed like this is describing a lot of men, like a lot of like these things that are going on, because the way society is structured now, it's probably not hard to have a problem with your mother. You know what I'm saying? Because if she's the only person that you have, if your father's not in the house, she's going to give you good times and bad times. She's going to traumatize you, and I mean, hell, you know what I'm saying? They're going to have some hell. I don't think any parent doesn't traumatize their child in some way. I think that's a given. You're going to, in some way, you're going to.
I mean, but this is, even the mother trauma, like, this is more so, because I mean, if you can have father trauma too, like if a man has mother and father trauma, of course he's going to be more prone to probably being more fluid. But the mother trauma is important because this is going to help you understand his relationship with women a lot more, because you can hate how your mother raised you, but once you become an adult, that doesn't mean you have to hold it against her. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to hate all women. Like, I don't think you should ever generalize what one person did and generalize the whole entire community. But I just think that it usually, the hatred for women, it might start with their mothers, but then it gets so deep over time, because the unhealed hate, of course, is you just fueling it.
So we have like 15 minutes left. If there's anybody that wants to ask a question or come up and ask a question, I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to start asking some of these questions of the audience and get a little bit more into this PowerPoint. We're going to have to definitely bring you back. An hour is not enough. You said DLism, behavioral patterns, inconsistent relationship history, avoids discovering past relationships. That's interesting, because so are you saying it's almost like they try to have an air of mystery where they make it all about, don't ask me nothing, focusing on the person?
Right, because I mean, of course, like when you start asking people about their past relationships, like if a relationship ended, that means that it was something that wasn't good. So then they have to be more open. And like I said, with a DL, man, if you start trying to get stuff out of them, what they're gonna do, typically, because they're so narcissistic, they're gonna blame the women, because they don't really like women, so they're trying to find like their perfect woman. So by them trying to find a perfect woman, we know that they're never gonna find it, because there is no perfect woman. Nobody's perfect. So they're gonna always have a reason. Well, why aren't you married? Well, the last woman I was with, she was this, she was that. It's like it's always to make them look good. They're gonna always make sure they look good. Like, they don't care, because of course a smart person will probably, take some kind of ownership. Like, relationships don't end typically because of one person, and it won't always be you're in the right.
So you said something about that they tend to have a high respect for men, and they'll have an unusual close male friendship with men. What about a guy that spends a lot of time around a bunch of women, that there's no male friends? Can that be a clue as well, or is it mainly that they have a bunch of male friends?
Okay, so and see, that's why I was like, the PowerPoint was probably not a good idea, because we didn't even start with the disclaimer, because that's why people. Okay, so essentially, like I told you, DL men you need to think about it like think about a ruler. Like, some are going to be here, some are going to be here, like they're all over. So yes, some of them, I always say, if a man has a bunch of female friends and they're genuinely friends, he's more than likely gay. Like, it's nothing else that you're going to tell me. Men don't befriend women.
Oh, explain that. Men don't befriend women. Now, that's something. I think
if you're a woman, you'll probably.
Okay, you got to explain that one. Hold on.
But I think
we got to do another one of these.
So, like, have you ever been befriended by a man that was truly your friend first, or did he try to have sex with you? Unless they don't find you attractive. Now, that is the That is the flip side. Like, it's either A, they don't find you attractive, but if it's a bunch of women